Hello, it's your old virtual machine shop instructor, Ed, the CNC dude, here in Sarasota, Florida, Suncoast Technical College. And just doing a quick video about shortening your programs uh, in the CAD/CAM system so they'll fit in your Haas machine. We have the same problem at our school. We have a 1 megabyte capacity, and a lot of them are occupied by the render shop probing programs, but we end up running off the USB a lot in the FNC mode, and if you bump into the USB or pull it out, or I understand if some people have a blip in the power, you might just get a little hesitation, and you lose some functionality. I personally, I like to have the whole program in the control myself. So I come from the olden days. We were drip feeding off of 3D6 computers into mat servers that could hold hardly anything because they weren't really machines that were meant to do 3D machining from the 80s. So, but now with not just 3D milling, but with all this dynamic and trochoidal toolpath, it's got a lot of code. So you could do some setting changes in there. One thing we used to do in the old days, you used to strip out all the N numbers in the code. You could do that in your code editor. Um, you don't really need the N numbers. And then when we got really crazy, we used to take out all the spaces in between the all the the G code. So in order to compress the file, it doesn't become as readable, but who really wants to read the file anyway? So anyway, settings in your CAM system. Now this is the famous Titan 1M part, and if I'm doing adaptive, which is trochoidal style, all those little arcs in there, there's a setting in here called, if I can find it, smoothing, right here, smoothing. If you hover over this thing, it'll give you a little thing. Smooths the toolpath by removing excessive points and fitting arcs where possible within giving tolerance. Now, this is a roughing strategy. So in other words, if you're leaving 10 thousandths on the wall, if you went like 8 thousandths on your tolerance, even it's going to try to make arcs out of any possible little lines. So you might have a million little lines, and it could be made into 3 arcs. So that's the whole point of smoothing, and we've done that, and we've looked at the file size right afterwards, and it really shrunk it up a lot. If you're also in Fusion, if you're going to post out, let me get in the post section here. Right here, you can actually, right here, use sequence numbers, no. I actually made my own post so it automatically comes up as no. So and that's like a quick way of compressing the file. Going into Mastercam, let's go to Mastercam here. I'm going to show the toolpath right here. All right, this is all the toolpath. Pretty similar toolpath. I got my vise. I was doing some simulation so I could do teaching online, talking about not crashing into the vise, but it's similar code. It's trochoidal toolpath, if you can see the little lines there. And I have the stock turned on. Let me turn the stock off. There, you can see it now. So toolpath on and off. So in Mastercam, if I'm in Surface High Speed OptiRough, right here it says arc filter. In order to make this file smaller, like right now, if I were to spit this out, G1, right? G1, spit it out. I'm going to do this as, I'm just going to call it test 1. Okay, so I know where to find these things. I'm going to save this one. I'm going to spit the code out. The code expert pops up right here. There's your file, but I have mine set up for no line numbers. But notice that these are all G1s here. All these are G1s everywhere. And these could be possibly made into arcs. There's a ton of code there. Right? And okay, So the settings for that are in this arc filter. Right now it says we want to use line arc filter and say XY plane, YZ plane, or so I would turn all three of these on. And then we always debate about what should we use for a tolerance. Like, let's put in 5 thousandths and make this like 50/50, or just type in 50, which makes that one 50. And just play around with it. And there's another setting down here. It says output 3D arc motion entry. And that would be like helical. If you don't have that setting turned on, you might not get arcs. You'll get tons of little lines. So. Alright, so you want to check that one on, and we'll just hit the green check mark, and I got to regen that code. Alright, so I'm going to do that one, G1, post, and I'm going to call that test 2, save. Alright, so now, see right there, I can show you right there, we got arcs. I's and J's. You start seeing the I's and J's are arcs. So that converted that into arcs. So I can tell that's a success right off the bat. Let's go into machine definition. No, is that the one we want? Here we go. It's your definition area, and it says what post I'm using. And I'm going to go into the, not that one. This one here. If you go into arcs right here, it says, how do you want your arcs to come out? Do you want them to break at quadrants? Do you want half circles, full circles? Helix support right here. This is helical moves. Do you want them in the XY plane? Do you want no helixes, meaning you get all little tiny lines? What else is it? NCR. Do you want to output comments? Yes. Do you want to put out sequence numbers? So I have it unchecked. No sequence numbers. So these are all settings you could play with. Alright, and this also is asking me to save because I might have changed something. Let's look real quick at that file if I can find it in my computer now. Oops, there we go. Where the heck's my Mastercam directory? There it is. I even have the home learning edition here because I was testing mil NC. That folder's empty. I always get lost with all these paths. File. I'm sorry. Get confused between Fusion and Mastercam. There they are right there. Oh, we can look right here. Oh, it is right there. Test 1. Right there. 178 kilobytes. That's what, 1.7 meg? Test 2. Under half a meg. And that was just from doing those settings, right? So that was my primary reason to do that. And I guess I did see that in old SimQuest video here. I'm looking at it right over.
I'm a senior application engineer and I work.
I'll bring it over this page here. Oops, I'm getting wrong pages here. Okay, it says 2014, and this is actually X7, but they were talking about the same ones, and they gave a display in here about how it actually made this is more to talk about the 3D milling, the finish milling, and how it gave a smoother finish if you use the smoothing settings in there. So it compressed the file and actually made it look better. So these are little things you might want to play with. There's a lot of settings. There's another one in Haas has one on G187 usage in a Haas and settings that you would use in Fusion 360. So there's a lot of good subjects out there. Okay, so I'm going to just cut it short. I'm hitting my 10-minute limit. And I just want to say, thanks to Shaney at Titans CNC. She gave me some swag hats, and I threw in a Tormac shirt and a Haas shirt, even though I don't have a Tormac, but I like these cool hats and stuff she gave me. So thank you very much, Shaney. at Titans CNC. Signing off, CNC Dude. Talk to you later.